everyone, welcome to the Movie Section Show. My name is Fariba, and today we just got the first brand new trailer, the full trailer for the upcoming movie Joker Folie et Deux. I hope I'm saying that right, because my French isn't the greatest. But yeah, we're finally getting Joker this year. It's been quite, a long wait getting up to this journey. I mean, at one point we thought it was just gonna be the Joker movie. I think it's been 2018, and Joaquin Phoenix won his Oscar, his Best Actor award Oscar for the role itself. And then we thought that was just gonna be it. I wanted to see that, Todd Phillips was ready to do another sequel as well as Joaquin Phoenix, and then of course the Lady Gaga casting as Harley Quinn. And then not just that, but this movie being a musical, like the developments for this has been pretty insane. It's been about 2-3 year development for a long time. We've been seeing some of the footage, the behind the scenes footage, the set images, and it looks really promising. I mean, it is a Joker, and considering the fact that it's a very ambitious superhero movie, not really superhero movie, but just a comic book type of film. I'm very intrigued to see how Todd Phillips is going to be able to manage this movie, just because, again, just having a movie that is based on a comic book that also has a musical soundtrack. I believe there's about 15 songs in this movie. It's pretty insane. I know at least with the first images that we've seen of Lady Gaga's Harley Quinn has been pretty rock solid. Like, I'm really excited to see her version of Harley Quinn, because I feel like she's someone who can really manifest her way of Harley Quinn. I mean, of course, a lot of people are going to compare it to Margot Robbie's version, but I feel like I'm very intrigued to see her version now that, of course, we have the first trailer. That's going to be the one thing I'm going to be keeping an eye on. And of course, just what happens after the events of the first Joker movie. So yeah, having mentioned all of that, the fact that this movie is now finally coming, we finally got the first trailer. The movie is coming very soon. I think it was in October of this year. So yeah, without further ado, let's get right down into the first trailer for Joker Folie et Deux.
Hey Fleck, you got a joke for us today?
Okay.
We use music to make us whole, to balance the fractures within ourselves.
Sing in the rain.
I haven't done anything with my life like you have.
Oh my god.
Let's get out of here.
Oh wow, it's giving me, okay. This makes a lot more sense now. Okay.
What the world needs now is a love sweet love. It's the only thing that there's just too little
Joker and Harley.
What the world needs now is love, sweet love.
Tell us, what's changed, Arthur? I'll tell you what's changed. We're not alone anymore. That's what we should be talking
Hotel Arkham.
about.
I want to see the real you.
So there you have it. That is the first trailer for Joker Folie et Deux. And now, having seen it, I have to say that I think, I wouldn't say it answers a lot of questions, but I think it has gotten me to a point where I think I can get the gist of a lot of the things I had questions about. So mostly being that, of course, being the whole musical bit. So let's break that down. So in this trailer, we do get like the first footage of the movie, Arthur being at the facility and meeting Harley Quinn, Lady Gaga's Harley Quinn, seeing how they meet, and then seeing kind of their whole whirlwind journey that they go through from beginning to the end. Then we hear some of the music. We hear some very classical music playing. I can't tell who it is, but it definitely gives off like 40s, 50s vibes. And yeah, it doesn't answer a lot of questions, of course. Like, it doesn't give off the plot elements, but just by looking at the footage, I think I can maybe theorize one thing about the musical approach. So of course, a big question about this movie is, okay, if this is going to be a musical, like, how are they planning this out? Like, how are they setting this whole idea of this being a musical? Because it is quite an ambitious idea to do for something that is, you know, a character that's very involved in the comic books. And it's rarely that you ever hear comic books and musicals coming together or even meshing together. It's a very unique concept, and one that I know when it was first announced, a lot of people were just like, this is going to be a musical. Like, they were happy it was going to be Joker 2, but then it's like, it's a musical? Like, what? But having seen the trailer, I think I have a theory as to what would lead to a lot of the musical elements. Like, I know there's going to be about 15 or so covers in this movie. So, probably some of the classics. I have a feeling that we might be hearing Sing in the Rain, maybe, just because there's that one snippet where we see the 4 umbrellas and it's raining, and I'm just like, oh, could it be Sing in the Rain? Maybe, who knows? That's just theory. But one thing I will say is that my main theory is, okay, how is this movie going to execute the whole musical approach to it when we've literally seen the first movie and there's nothing about it that's a musical? I think I have an idea, and I think it goes to the fact of some of the snippets that we do see in this trailer. So the one thing that stood out to me is we see a stage, right? So we see a stage, we see Joker and Harley dancing on that stage. So it's like, for me, the first thing that pops into my mind is, are they imagining themselves in some sort of play or musicals, you know, a musical type of play, or they're kind of in this la la land of their romance, maybe. So that's something that I was thinking, that maybe they're just manifesting this idea in their minds, because they are at the facility, they are being evaluated by people. So it makes me think that okay, maybe that's probably the approach that they're taking. That's maybe how they're playing out the whole musical elements in this movie, that they're in their own sort of la la land that they're imagining of their whole romance. So, which would make a lot more sense. So it's not gonna be a straightforward musical where it's like after every scene we're gonna have some sort of musical we're gonna have some sort of musical needle drop or something, like not in a way that we saw with Les Miserables or Chicago, or not even like with La La Land. It's just like, but this one's like, it's more of, okay, imagination. And I think even there's one part when we see this trailer where Joker and Harley are watching something, or they're like in a room watching something, and maybe just because of the fact that they are watching some sort of movie or something, that maybe that's how they're manifesting their ideas, they're manifesting their I wouldn't say delusions, but manifesting their imaginations onto that musical stage. And I think that's how they're playing it out. I think that's my theory. Again, it might not be exactly that, or I might be totally wrong about it. It's just simply a theory. I think this is a theory that a lot of people themselves have been saying, that that's probably how they're going to play out the whole musical elements, just because I feel like that makes the most sense to make it, make sense. So, but that's just a theory. I could be wrong, but that's what I think is how they're going to play out the whole musical elements here. Again, I'm still trying to take in the fact that this is a musical, because I know for me personally, musicals are a bit tough. I'm not the biggest musical person. I feel like that shouldn't really come as a surprise. Like, musicals are not really my kind of thing. It's just not my taste, but I'm still gonna open myself up to go see this film, even though it does have a musical. One of the things I'm excited to see, of course, is like, again, I think one of the things that really attracted me to see this film is the fact that, again, it's very unique concept, because of the fact that it's very inspired. It's loosely inspired by the comic books, but more so the fact that there is Lady Gaga in this movie. So let's talk about Lady Gaga. We finally got like a full look of Lady Gaga's Harley Quinn in this movie, and I will say that she looks really promising. I mean, one thing I will say is that before Lady Gaga was even casted as Harley Quinn, I remembered a lot of the backlash about her casting. What was that, a year or so ago? Just because, like, I understand Lady Gaga's not typically who we associate as like an actor, and given the fact that we haven't, it hasn't been that long since we've seen Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn, that her performance is still very fresh in our minds. And even Margot Robbie did such a really great job playing Harley Quinn, whether it be the really infamous Suicide Squad, the first one, or the Birds of Prey movie, which I thought it was decent. But she did such a really phenomenal job, really manifesting just the personality of Harley Quinn, and doing so in the way that it's very comic book accurate. So I know that there was a lot of that backlash, a lot of that comparison of, okay, well, Margot Robbie did a really great Harley Quinn. Why do we need Lady Gaga? But honestly, for me, I think that Lady Gaga, her casting seems the most fitting in a case like this. I mean, for one thing, Lady Gaga, I think she's a really good actress. I've seen her in Star is Born. She's someone who's very, she's very involved in her character. She's someone who really wants to go in depth with it. I know there's a lot of that criticism about her accent from, House of Gucci, which sounded more Russian than really Italian, which I get that argument. Of course, this is not going to be the case here. We're not going to have accent, dilemma, or sort of fiasco in this case, but even that being the case, I think she's a very promising actor. I think that this is a role that I think really suits her. One of the things I'm looking forward to seeing is how she's going to portray that personality of Harley Quinn. It does seem as though that her portrayal is definitely far more sophisticated than just going all out about Harley Quinn. We get that sense, of course, in the trailer. Like, the whole movie is very sophisticated. Like, I mean, it has that neo-noir vibe, so it's not going to be like that typical action-packed comic book superhero movie that we would see with other films that we've seen of that sort in that genre. It's definitely a bit more sophisticated. It's far more grounded. It's a neo-noir movie for a reason. And we definitely get that sophistication with her character here. We even get that from her costume, right? Like when the first set images really had dropped for her character, like for her look as Harley Quinn, it definitely was different. It's not that iconic, suit of Harley Quinn where she has the black and white and red, holding that hammer, having that sinister smile. It's not, I mean, we do see a sinister smile, but we don't have that exact copycat look of Harley Quinn in this movie. Like, it's definitely a bit more, I would say far more realistic, far more genuine to the setting. She's wearing, like, it's, even though she's not manifesting the exact look of Harley Quinn, she is embodying sort of a inspired look of her character. So the red blazer, we do get the patches of black and white from top to bottom. We do see the makeup of hers, how she's like has that line crossing through her eyes. So she does manifest some sort of inspiration of that character that really suits the whole adaptation of this movie. And remember, this is an adaptation, right? So adaptations, like, you can't just have an exact these characters are based on comic book characters, and that's how they're gonna try and use those personas to integrate into their story and try to recreate their version. But it doesn't mean that has to be 100% recreation of those characters from text to movie. It's some sort of adaptation, right? So that's why I'm totally fine with it. I think that, again, having seen the first looks of Lady Gaga, I think she looks really promising in the role. I cannot wait to see her. Just having now seen the first footage, I think that I cannot wait to see her dynamic with Joaquin Phoenix's Joker and how they play that out. Of course, one of the things that makes her the most ideal casting is the fact that she is a singer. I actually do love I don't listen to a lot of music, at least not a lot of modern day music, but if there's one person who I love listening to is Lady Gaga, and I think that this is a very suitable role for her because, again, it is a musical. She's a singer, therefore it's a really good combination right there to bring in a singer slash actor like Lady Gaga into this movie. So I am very curious about what song she is going to be singing, what song she's going to be performing. I do wonder if they're going to have an original song, because even though there's going to be 15 covers, I would imagine that she's probably going to have one original song for this movie, like the way she did with A Star Is Born and Top Gun Maverick. I think that was a recent one. I think she was nominated for both. She won Star Is Born, but I think the second one she lost. I can't remember who she lost to, but yeah. But yeah, I think she looks pretty promising right now. I cannot wait to see the full footage of that, or see the rest of the movie. Again, this is really just the first teaser, so even though it's technically a teaser trailer, again, I think I mentioned that's 2 hours. It's already 2 minutes and 24 seconds, so it's already a long trailer. But just having seen the first teaser, we don't really get a full idea what the premise is or where the plot's gonna be. That still seems to be very secretive at this point, but we do at least get the first footage of Joaquin Phoenix and Harley Quinn. Seeing their dynamic here is definitely very central. It's very integral. I do have questions, of course, about, because the first thing that caught my attention was, oh, she is already at the facility, so does that mean that they're going to cut out the fact that she was a psychiatrist, or are they going to play around with that? Maybe they're going to do some sort of flashback maybe of her origin story, or they're probably going to just remove it altogether. That's just the one thing I was like, okay, a little bit different here, but we now know how they meet. What transpires afterwards, I have no idea. I cannot even imagine the mayhem that's going to happen. We do see a couple of things that do happen in this trailer. So I think there was one part where I think I saw not just Joaquin Phoenix's Joker, but 2 other Jokers. So I wonder what the heck is going on with that. I would imagine that that's maybe just a nightmare that Joker is having, maybe. Again, I feel like a lot of the vibes I'm getting out of this is that it's just like an imagination that's going on in Joker. So, but that's my theory right there. But I think I have said everything I have to say about this trailer. Again, I cannot wait to see it. It comes out in October. It's very promising so far. I do look forward to seeing the second trailer, so maybe by that point we'll get a much better idea what the plot's going to be. But that's all I have to say about Joker Folie et Deux trailer right here, the first teaser trailer. What are your thoughts now, having seen the first trailer right here? Are you sold on this movie even though it is a musical, or do you still need a little bit more convincing? What are your thoughts about the first footage of Joker and Harley Quinn, now that we know a little bit more about their story and what we think is going to happen? What are your theories going into it? I already said my theory, but maybe you have a much different, very intriguing one that maybe I haven't heard about. What are your first thoughts about Lady Gaga's Harley Quinn? I know there was a lot of mixed reviews, not mixed reviews, but a lot of mixed comments about her casting as Harley Quinn. Do you think that you're okay with the casting? Do you think that this is the most ideal fitting role? To me, I think it is, but maybe you have other thoughts. Let me know your thoughts below, and make sure to like and subscribe.